Young men, let's say in their early 20s, have the toughest time out of any age group attracting women. It really is so counterintuitive. At this point in your life, you're at your physical peak. You have the most energy, and your possibilities are limitless. So why is it that men in this specific demographic have such a tough time attracting women? The reason is simple, and it has to do with a discrepancy in sexual market value. As I discuss frequently on this channel, sexual market value, SMV, is simply the culmination of various aspects that give you value to women. For men, these facets include physical stature, social prowess, and financial ability. These three together mostly determine his SMV. And therefore, they accurately determine the level of value he can then command from women in the sexual market. These qualities differ from what constitutes a woman's SMV. Regardless of what modern-day feminism preaches, a woman's SMV is largely influenced by the physical, her face, body, and feminine energy. And by feminine energy, I mean the way she carries herself, acts, and behaves. This fact is why almost all high-value men have beautiful wives, even though they probably have horrid temperaments. I want to be clear that personally, I view personality and compatibility as the most desirable traits in a woman. It sounds like a lie, I know, but if I genuinely enjoy spending time with someone, how they look is of less importance. Physical qualities obviously matter to me, but less so than others. But unfortunately, the fact is that most men assign a woman's value by her looks, and thus, for the most part, a woman's SMV is equivalent to her looks. Now that we've briefly defined sexual market value in the context of both men and women, let's explore how this relates to the problem most young men face nowadays. The reality is that in your early 20s, men just haven't yet had enough time to develop their SMV. Chances are good you haven't built up your body, social network, or finances. Especially with the modern-day education system wasting so much of our early childhood. Oftentimes, men emerge in their late teenage years without any useful skills, without a strong body, with no financial foundation, and a general lack of social skills and network. Because of this, they have essentially zero SMV, while they're thrust into the competitive, unforgiving world. A world where women are simultaneously reaching their peak SMV. A world where at around the same time, in their early 20s, women have finished growing into their body, their sexual energy is at its peak, and their body at its most optimal. Ultimately, all the physical traits that define a woman's SMV are at their highest in her early 20s. You can begin to see how this naturally creates a massive discrepancy between the SMV of men and women in their early 20s. While men are just getting started on the lifelong journey of self-improvement, women are already entering their prime years. And to further aggravate the situation, men are expected to court and attract women. When you realize this, it's really no wonder why most young men struggle with female attraction. It's no wonder why most men aren't able to get women in their age group, they simply have too little value. And these women, naturally, will opt for the older, more established, higher value men. The ones who've been working on self-improvement for a bit, and thus have had more time to increase their SMV. Or, they'll opt for the coveted few elite men who've been blessed with high SMV since birth. Those who come from high masculinity, with desirable physical traits and expansive social skills. This small percentage of men end up getting the largest share of women, while the majority of us are left behind. Ultimately, you can't change where you are right now. Maybe you're of significantly lower value than the opposite sex. But I'm here to say it honestly doesn't matter, because it doesn't have to remain this way. The whole purpose of this channel is to help empower you to carve out your own path of self-improvement, and as a byproduct, significantly increase your sexual market value. My objective is only to lay down the framework for success, it's up to you to permeate it with the necessary hard work, discipline, and consistency.